You've laughed at something today that had nothing to do with how you actually felt. Not fake, not performed, real laughter. And somewhere behind it, something heavy you haven't told anyone about. You do this. You carry both at the same time, and most people never notice. Most people aren't supposed to. The world calls this being fine. Being easy to be around, low maintenance, and it reads, your public warmth as proof that nothing is wrong. Because nothing ever seems to be wrong with you? That's the part that stings. You're so good at being okay that no one thinks to check. But psychology doesn't call this fine. It calls this emotional compartmentalization, a sophisticated self-regulation strategy. Not a mask, not a lie. Your nervous system learned to hold space for both realities simultaneously. That's not avoidance. That's architecture. If that landed somewhere specific in you, say "this is me" in the comments. You'll find your people there. 1. You feel things in private because public feeling never felt safe. Research in attachment theory suggests that people who learned early that emotional expression was unwelcome or burdensome to others develop a pattern of inward processing. Your crying isn't hidden because you're ashamed. It's private because somewhere along the way, you learned that your pain made other people uncomfortable. You became the container, the stable one, and you got so good at it that it started to feel like identity. That capacity to hold yourself is not weakness quietly hidden. It's the result of years of emotional self-sufficiency. You built something most people never have to build. 2. Your humor is real, and it is also protective. This is the part people misread most. They think the laughter is deflection. Sometimes it is, but studies on emotional regulation show that humor genuinely shifts neurological state. It's not just performance, it's function. Your brain reaches for levity because it knows how to survive. You're not pretending to be fine. You're creating moments of actual relief inside a harder emotional landscape. That's intelligent. That's your system working for you, not against you. 3. You have a profound fear of being a burden, not a small social discomfort. A deep, almost cellular resistance to taking up emotional space in other people's lives. You would rather absorb than impose. Psychology links this to what's called anxious selflessness, a pattern where your own needs get quietly reclassified as optional. You've talked yourself out of reaching out more times than you can count. Told yourself it wasn't serious enough, that they had their own things, that you'd figure it out. The reframe is this: needing people is not a character flaw. It's a biological requirement. You've just been carrying it alone. 4. You are more emotionally intelligent than most people in the room. There's a reason you can read a person's mood before they've said a word. The same sensitivity that makes you cry alone, quietly, without anyone knowing, is the same sensitivity that makes you the person others call when they're falling apart. You feel at high resolution. Research consistently links emotional depth with heightened empathic accuracy. You don't just notice what people feel, you feel it with them. That's not a burden you were given. That's a rare perceptual ability most people will never have. 5. The loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about being unseen. You can be in a full room, genuinely laughing, genuinely present, and still feel it. That quiet ache. Not sadness exactly. More like the awareness that the version of you everyone sees is real but incomplete. Psychology describes this as the vulnerability gap, the distance between who you show and who you are. The gap exists not because you're deceptive, but because you've never found a space that felt safe enough to close it. That space exists, you haven't found it yet. That's not permanent. You are not broken. You are not secretly falling apart while pretending otherwise. You are someone who learned, very early, to carry your emotional life with extraordinary care. That care has a cost. It also has a depth most people never reach. The question for you today: when was the last time someone asked how you were and you actually told them the truth? Think about that. Leave it below if you want. If this felt like it was written for you, subscribe. This channel exists for exactly this. Next, we're going into the psychology of people who apologize for everything, even when they've done nothing wrong. That one goes deep.